Hello, BookTube. I hope you're all having a nice, relaxing Sunday. I know that's my plan today. I'm going to get on the couch in a minute and I'm not planning to move. So, I think this is my third reading wrap up for the month. I think anyway. So, this has been May's and I read 14 in May. I usually do about 14, 15, and it's been a strong non fiction month this month. It's a couple of fiction books mixed in there as well, but I don't think anything fiction-wise stands out. Oh, except for one. So here we go, my reading wrap-up for May. Like always, I start with my rereads, and I put both of them together. I reread two Bill Brysons, and that's A Short History of Nearly Everything and A Walk in the Woods. For those of you who know me, I love Bill Bryson. He's got that very sarcastic wit to him. I find him funny. So, A Walk in the Woods is him and his friend Katz, who are deeply inept. And they're trying to walk a section. Well, I don't. They're attempting to walk the whole of the Appalachian Trail, I think, but they only manage a section of the Appalachian Trail, and they get all sorts of hijinks. And the way Bill Bryson, right, it pulls me straight in. He's a mass market non-fiction uh, author. I think he pleases the masses. I think Bill Bryson, and he certainly does it for me. I absolutely adore it. A Walk in the Woods, he's not only talking about his time, he's also talking about the history of the Appalachian Trail. He talks about what murders have happened there as well. He talks about the animal life, people getting attacked by bears, what you need to do if a bear attacks you. He also talks about some of the cranks that they find along the way. So, if you've not read A Walk in the Woods, it's probably his most famous book, A Walk in the Woods. Go and take it out one day, in a nice sunny day. Take it outside and read it in the woods or something like that. You'll love it. I do like Bill Bryson. And the other one, A Short History of Nearly Everything, I think it was published in 2002. So science has come a long way, 20 plus years. So it is a little bit dated, but it's basically Bill Bryson delivering what we know so far at that point in time. So it's going through evolution, the Big Bang. It's going through plate tectonics, genetics. He talks about how scientists can be quite petty. Like, don't know if you know it. It's the bone wars between scientists when he started discovering dinosaur bones. So that's the flavor. He talks pollution. It's all sorts. It's things like that, and it's delivered in a typical Bill Bryson dry wit. So yeah, pick up that as well. Also a good book. Okay, so let's start with the books that were new to me. And let's start with books I was disappointed by. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised by this, because, if you're not a nerd, turn away now. These are Star Wars The New Jedi Order books 9 and 10, I believe. So this is Star by Star by Troy Denning, and it is Dark Journey by Elaine Cunningham. I think this series is meh. You go to Star Wars book channels out there, and they sing this series. It's good. You need to read it. It's not good, folks. It's not. I think it's very much meh. And out of the 10 I've read, there's a few bad stinkers in there as well. So Star by Star, it wasn't the best writing you can possibly find. And it's basically, there's a Yuzong Vong, there's an alien species that have come into the galaxy and they're basically invading. Star by Star is now then purely concentrating on hunting down and killing the Jedi and putting pressure on different governments to help them out. He said, if you don't help us, we're going to destroy your planet. So it's all that kind of stuff. To be fair, Star by Star might be the best one out of the newish ones I've read. It's about Jedi younglings all getting together and fighting back. That's what Star by Star few deaths along the way, some important ones as well. And Dark Journey, was that book bad? Dark Journey was about the after effects of Star by Star. So it's dealing with one of the main characters, Jaina. She's like dancing with the dark side. You know, what will she? Won't she? It's that kind of book, but it's not delivered well. Oh, by me at all. So a new Jedi Order series, I personally think you can skip it. There's a bet if you're a Star Wars nerd like me, there's other books out there that are better than a new Jedi Order series. I mean, considering this series is 19 books and I'm on just finished 10 and it's rough. But I will read the extra 9. Okay, let's continue with the disappointment train. Choo-choo! So the next one is a non-fiction. This is The Music Instinct. This is by Philip Ball. I wanted to love this book. I love non-fiction and I love music. But I just found this book completely inaccessible. Maybe it's my own fault and my own, lack of intelligence here. There's a few good, before I go on a bad rant, there's a few good things in there. There's the history of harmony and how we appreciate how different people appreciate notes and stuff like that. But oh my, this is massively mathematical. Oh, I didn't expect it to be like this at all. It's like reading Stephen Hawking. This book, he's like, I don't understand. There's all sorts of equations getting flown, and I mean, it's well researched. Don't get me wrong. This is, if you're interested in the subject on how we interpret music and why we love music, what's behind that. Well, what's the science behind why we like music? This is probably the only book in the field that does that, and it's well researched. But you've got to have a PhD in applied mathematics to try and understand this book, because a large portion of it went straight over my head. I was like, another equation. My knowledge stops at E equals MC squared. Anything above that, I refuse. Just refuse to learn. Okie dokie. Next one is a fiction book. It's a new one as well. This is, I think it came out last year. This is Glorious Exploits by, I hope I say his name right. Is it Fedra Lennon? This is a retell. No, it's not retelling. It's a story around Greece, and there's two blokes who want to run like a play, and they use captured prisoners from a war to set up the play and help them. And it's all like the war might have been tragic and deadly, but maybe the setting up the play is harder. It's very much in a comic kind of delivery. It's not serious at all. As you can tell, the play ends up in a disaster. And it is well written. This is my favourite fiction book that I've read in a long time. It's a really well delivered book. If you're into modern literature, pick this up. You won't miss it. And the guy, he writes it in like a Irish way of talking. So it's different. It's very much a different thing, and it's funny, and it's a unique story of two guys trying to stressing out on how they're going to do a play with captured prisoners who everybody around the city hates because they killed the husband or they killed the son. So everybody hates them, and it's fairly well done, and I recommend it to everyone. Okie dokie. Trust me to scroll all the way down. Next one. She's a bit. Annie Jacobsen. Right, I've enjoyed a few of her books. Her best book is Nuclear War: A Scenario, which is, I think, her most recent one. And I've Surprise, Kill and Vanish. I think that's what the book title. It's all right. It's about the CIA. I think that's all right as well. Area 51 is first thing, Annie Jackson she is a good writer. She's got a very rhythmic way of writing. It's hugely digestible. You'll fly through this book. But with Area 51, there's a load of like, really, she uses like she talks about because I was more interested in like because obviously Area 51 is for like secret spy planes and stuff like that. But she gives credence to like Roswell. Like, really? Aliens will be going there. Who's that bloke who I can't. He's been on all sorts. Is it Bob Lazar, the alien man, the guy who worked at Area 51 and saw aliens? She talks about him quite heavily in this book as well, and it's just an eye roll moment. But it's an interesting book. You will some things that you haven't heard before, because she does interview people who have actually worked at Area 51, like colonels and generals and civilians and all that. And she does deliver it in a really well presented in a really good fashion, whatever. But I thought it was a weakest one because she tries to say things, but she hasn't got no proof for like the aliens and the Bob Lazar stuff. There's nothing there. Concentrate on the stuff that we know, the secret spy planes and stuff like that, and how is it run, with a conjunction with military and the CIA. So if that sounds interesting, is that up your street? Area 51 it is. Next one is also of a kind of meh. It's the memoir Just Kids by Patti Smith. If you don't know who Patti Smith is, she's a famous singer, and she I think what was it? A famous album was Horses, was it? I'm sure it was. So this is her memoir of her just before moving to New York. I think she moved to. It's the struggles of becoming an artist and a singer. I forgot that bloke's name, trust me. I think it's Robert. I'm having a brain fart. But she moves in and she strings up a relationship with this guy who wants to become an artist. And it's her relationship with him as well. And he's struggling with his homosexuality. And it's that kind of like two people who are struggling to become themselves. That's what this is about. And it's more, there's a lot of names in this book, which is quite annoying, blah 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 blah, more names, eye roll moments, So yeah, this is a book about struggling to become a world-renowned singer from absolutely nothing. Her friends, who she associated with, and then later in life as well, and how she dealt with grief and stuff like that. So if that sounds up your street, pick up Patti Smith, Just Kids. The next one is probably the strongest non-fiction that I read this month. This is King, A Life by Jonathan Egg. It's exactly what it says in the tin. So this is a biography of Martin Luther King, from his childhood all the way up to his assassination. This book is immensely, it's a sizable amount. It's not as big as some biographies, but it is a bit chunk. It's a bit of a chunk. Sorry, got something in my eye. But this is a fantastically written, well-researched book, and it concentrates more on the latter half of Martin Luther's life, in the 1950s and 60s, when he started to get into the civil rights movement, and obviously all the way up to the Vietnam War. His relationship with Martin Luther King, his relationship with the presidency, the FBI, and how he dealt with life going just day by day. And it also talks about his personal life as well, with his wife. And it doesn't hold back any punches, this book as well. So it does talk about that he was probably a manic depressive, because about all the stuff that he had to deal with the racism, the constant arrests, the stalking by the police and the feds, the J. Edgar Hoover constantly on top of him, and also talks about he was an adulterer. So it's a very blunt, honest biography about a great but flawed human being that was Martin Luther King. So yeah, if you're into biographies, especially Americans, go and pick up MLK. It's a King, A Life by Jonathan Egg. It's a fantastic, well done biography. Okay, jumping on to a fantasy book. Do you know what? I always aim to finish these videos in 10 minutes. Failed again. So, next one is a fantasy book. This is the first of a trilogy by Jen Williams. This is The Ninth Reign. This is your basic fantasy. It's not doing anything sexy. It's just the usual fantasy setting. Very well written. Great character work. Great world building. But there's something it lacked for me to push it up to the end. Oh, it was a really good fantasy. It was kind of meh. I will continue and read the other two in this trilogy, but I forgot to even tell you what it's about. It's witches are being persecuted, and they shouldn't be really. And she escapes her persecution, and she runs into two characters, Toramain, something like that. Who's a bit of a Jack the Lad, and this other woman who is like a genius. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Anyway, those three get together, and then it's all about surviving, and then realizing they've got to do something to prevent a big bad, and they need to resurrect dragons, basically. So yeah, if that sounds up your street, a basic general fantasy that doesn't do anything great, The Ninth Reign by Jen Williams. The next one is the one I read just a couple of days ago. This is Never Leaving Laramie by John Haynes. This is a cross between a travelogue and a memoir. John Haynes it's an interesting. He is a writer. He's an interesting guy. He very much is a kind of a person which is slightly annoying. It's me first. I don't really care. No, it's not that he doesn't care about relationships or anything like that, but his wants come first. Just to put you, if you attempt to read this book, he is that kind of a guy. But he's done some fascinating things. He's kayaked up a river in Nigeria. Completely dodging crocodiles and civil war. Not really civil war, but major unrest in Nigeria. He has climbed parts of Tibetan mountains on bikes. He's also he sympathised an election in Bosnia just after the war in the 90s, but he was also in a really, really bad tragic accident, which he talks about in the book as well. So this is a really well done travelogue memoir about a fascinating guy. He also talks about death quite a lot in the opening chapter about where he lives in Laramie. Everybody's used to death because people know, oh, so and so died on the road the other day. Oh, did he? Oh, what can we do? It's Laramie. So yeah, if you fancy like a travelogue memoir, John Haynes it is. Next one is Islands of Abandonment. This is by Cal Flynn. This is looking at places on Earth when humans have left and how nature reclaims. This is fascinating. This is one of probably the most fascinating books I read this month. Well written, well researched, and so this it's basically this hope at the end of the tunnel. We can destroy our world by war. She goes to the old World War One battlefields where they had to bury all the chemicals that we were using against each other, and all the pollution, all the basically polluted the ground that where they buried it. But things grew back, and whatever substances were in the ground changed the biology and ecosystems a bit. But life found a way for those Jurassic Park fans. But yeah, she goes everywhere. She goes to an abandoned island in the north of Scotland. which is being completely took over by cows. She goes to a place in Detroit in the suburbs where people just moved out because it's becoming such a poor area, and how nature has just completely started to reclaim the houses. Yeah, so that sounds like if you're what's those people called on YouTube? Is it urban X's? People who like go into like abandoned places and go and find ghosts. Woo! I can't stand those videos. I've seen them all the time. I find it fascinating, going into old buildings and look around, and see how dilapidated they become and get a bit of history. I love that kind of stuff. But when you start to fake ghost videos, that's when I'm out. Check, please. Get a grip. But it gets the views on YouTube, I guess. So I'm rambling. So yeah. So if you like that kind of that flavour of book, it's really well researched, well written, and that's Islands of Abandonment by Cal Flynn. Okay, 2 more people. Oh, this is good. So next one is How to Say Babylon by Sophia Sinclair. This is a memoir about the author's life growing up in Jamaica, and how it's a memoir about family. This about her relationship with her mother, her father, and her siblings, and how it was all different, and how she basically survived under a oppressive father, who was going slightly. He started when you start reading the book, you could tell that he started to blame, his family for his own failings, because he thought he was going to be this big singer, and he blamed Babylon. Babylon meaning, the old colonial ways. Don't do anything. What's Babylon? Be, Jamaican. That's basically the gist of the book. This is a really well written book. The author is a poet, so it's got that very rhythmic, great way of writing. That was good. And yeah, so it's a struggle of Sophia actually becoming a poet, leaving a homestead and going to the United States and going to college, and then eventually making it, and how the power dynamics all changed within the family. This is a great memoir. You should read it. It's How to Say. Sorry. You should read this. It's also in a. It's called patois. It's the way I think it's the way Jamaicans speak that patois, isn't it? Yeah. It's very well delivered, well read, well done book. This is How to Say Babylon. And the last one, I think I've talked about this book before. This is White Heat by Dominic Sandbrook. This is, I think it's a 5-book series. This is looking at the history of Britain in just a microcosm of 6 or 7 years. It starts just after the Second World War, and then it goes through the swinging 60s, and then the depressing 70s, and his last one was the early 80s and the rise of Thatcherism. So this one, White Heat, it's all about the swinging 60s. Dominic Sandbrook, again, I love authors who have got that funny way of delivering lines, because this book is it's a sizable book, but do you digest it? It's well researched, and the thing about this, because it's a microcosm of what's going on in Britain at the moment. You can go, the Troubles are starting round about this time. The Troubles meaning Northern Ireland. I like that. Let's get another book about that, or Harold Wilson's government, or how he was dealing with the Sterling crisis, and then later on where he started to get paranoid about his own cabinet. I need to read more of that. Or culturally, what was going on in Britain, the what was fashion, music started to explode. You had the Beatles, you had the Kinks, you had the Rolling Stones. It's basically how Britain left that kind of stuffy old umbrella carrying to the parties. It's all about the swinging 60s. And that's it, folks. That was my May reading, and I managed to do 25 minutes. So more than double what I wanted. But yeah, I hope you like some of them books. If you like any of them, go and get them, because the majority are great. I'm logging off now, people. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye, BookTube.